All right, as I indicated, we will be talking then to our reporters on the ground. I do believe that Reginald is available to chat to us now. We now cross live to him. A very good afternoon to you, Reginald. I earlier saw you just before coming to work having a conversation with DA, one of the DA leaders, Helen Zille there. And of course, you've also been interacting with other political parties that have converged on Senekal this afternoon. What more do you have for us, and what's really being said at the moment there in Senekal? A lot of people were expecting a high tension, and I suppose that is what you're seeing and experiencing there in Senekal. But really give us an indication of what some of the leaders that are there today in Senekal are actually saying.
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Flo. We are still bringing you live coverage here from Senekal, and as you correctly stated, various political parties converged onto Senekal here in the Free State. It's either in support or opposing bail for the two men accused of killing 21-year-old Brendin Horner. The EFF also here saying that there should not be a different law when it comes to violence when black people are doing it, and also a different law when white people are doing it. We know that the EFF leader Julius Mahlamba is expected to address his members just after 3 o'clock. We know that the court proceedings are still on here in the Senekal Magistrate's Court, where the two men will be applying for bail, but EFF members still out here in full force, to hear what their leader Julius Mahlamba has to say on this hot topic currently that people are talking about in South Africa. So people out here in full force, the ANC Youth League also on the other side. You said that the former DA leader Helen Zille, yes, she's also here. I spoke to her earlier on, also to the farmers who dispersed not so long after they came to town, where the EFF, to the point where the EFF has been designated to converge or descend, where they should gather here in Senekal. There were designated points for the farmers, for the EFF, and also for the ANC Youth League to gather, so that police can monitor the situation or preventing any chaos that might erupt here in Senekal. Flo?
Yeah, so Reginald, you briefly mentioned the ANC Youth League. It does seem though that there's more of a showing from EFF though in Senekal today. What exactly are the ANC Youth League members that are converged today saying and doing? Because I must say, I've been seeing more visuals. Even if I look at social media, I'm certainly seeing a lot more of EFF members really being active, and as I can see just behind you there as well, singing in the background there. What role really is the ANC Youth League playing today, and what are they up to? What are they doing?
Well, earlier on, Flo, we tried to do a live crossing with them, but I don't know if you saw the live visuals when we were busy with the live crossing. They actually intimidated and pushed me while I was busy on air. Try to get just a sense of why they are here, when the EFF actually made a clarion call why they will be here today. And the ANC Youth League then just said that they are not going to speak to us, and basically chased us away. So I saw on social media that people are saying that this is actually more like a show-off between the ANC Youth League and the EFF at this moment all year in Senekal. But the EFF made it very clear they are here so that there should be no different law when it comes to certain races. Still out here in full force to hear what the leader will be saying to them when he will come out of that court proceedings a few meters from where we are doing this live crossing at this moment.
Right. Thank you very much, Reginald. I'll be catching up with you later on. Hopefully we can get you at a spot that's a little less rowdy where you are at the moment. Let's try Samkele as well, who is also there at Senekal. A very good afternoon to you, Samkele. A long day for you, a tiring day. I can see very hot there in Senekal as well for you, a hot day for you guys. But really, what is happening right now there? I just spoke to Reginald and I was asking about the role that the ANC Youth League is playing, and I understand they didn't in fact want to even speak to the media. So let's move on to the farmers then. Where are they? Where are they positioned? What are they doing? What's happening?
At this point in time, Flo, what we can say is that the EFF leader, Julius Mahlamba, has not yet addressed his party members. They are still currently inside court. Their Secretary General, Bashar Dlamini, said that once the court proceedings are done inside, the EFF leader, Julius Mahlamba, would come here to address these members of the party who are gathered here. We do know that they are currently in court. They are currently sitting in the proceedings. But as it stands, Julius Mahlamba has not yet addressed them. They are still waiting patiently to be addressed. We did see a scuffle earlier on between the EFF and the white farmers. We also did see an issue where our own colleague, Reginald Witbooi, was seemingly attacked by ANC members earlier on whilst he was doing a live crossing. But tensions have seemingly calmed down here in Senekal, but EFF members are waiting patiently to be addressed by their leader.
All right, and then in terms of the police, I mean, you know, you'll remember this. The last time that the two accused were in court, there were huge scuffles. We saw some of the farmers fighting with the police. What has been really their role today? I mean, really there were sort of assumptions that they'd be a little bit more hard-handed as the EFF members arrived today. Is that what we've seen throughout the day? What really have the police been doing in Senekal this afternoon? We do know that they did manage to stop what was about to be a huge scuffle between EFF and farmers. So maybe take us back to that and bring us up to speed now with regards to the police and really their presence there in Senekal today.
I'm really struggling to hear you, Flo, but I'm going to try attempt to answer your question. Essentially what happened is that on the M5 coming on towards Senekal, there was a huge roadblock. Every car, every bus, every individual coming into Senekal, the police were stopping them. They were searching them. If you had a firearm, they were wanting a license for that firearm. They were taking firearms away. People who coming with heavy armor weren't allowed to come into Senekal. That's essentially where the day started.
Yeah.
Then it progressed. EFF members gathered in their numbers here, outside where you can see now. Some of them were carrying golf sticks, as if they were going to play golf. They were around with their golf sticks in this precinct where we are. I can count a number of people who had their golf sticks. People like Josibu Tane, the leader of the EFF in Limpopo. People like the provincial secretary of Gauteng, who's also here. So essentially that's where it started. Then when Julius Mahlamba and Floyd Shivambu addressed the crowd and said they will come back and address them after 2 hours, they can walk around the streets of Senekal. That's when the issue started. EFF members started going to where the white farmers were, and that's when the scuffle started.
So at the moment then, can we say that there isn't much fighting at the moment? I suppose that there is a sort of wait and see approach. I know you can't hear me very well, so we'll try and hear what we can. But is there a sort of wait and see approach to see whether these two accused do indeed get bail? What exactly are people there saying? I suppose the interest is really on what's going on inside, as we all kind of wait and anticipate to see what will then happen with the court proceedings that are currently on.
EFF members here are not really interested in the proceedings inside court. What they are interested in is basically protecting the state's assets, the police vans, the court, and watching over the Afrikaner community so that they don't act in the manner that they acted last week when the accused or killers of Brendin were appearing in court. So essentially, what the EFF members are here to do is to protect state assets from what they perceive is the unwarranted actions of the white community. I'm just receiving feedback and it's really affecting our communication. So that's where the issues are at this point in time.
We'll talk to our technical team about that, Samkele. I'm sorry about that. I've heard the EFF saying that they are there to protect state assets, but let's not beat about the bush here, Samkele. There is certainly a race issue that is brewing in the Free State, and I can even say in South Africa as a whole, really, if you look at the commentary on even on social media, for example, where there is really quite a split, and this based on a race line. So we can't really hide from the fact that, and I'm sure you can tell me as you're stationed there today, that this is certainly a race issue related.
Yes, indeed. This is essentially a race issue that is happening here. And there is those racial tensions that have been raised specifically by the EFF leader, Julius Mahlamba, in saying that black South Africans are treated as stepchildren in South Africa, whilst the white community is treated like first-class citizens. These issues of racism are very much prevalent in these small farming and mining towns, and these are some of the issues that the EFF has raised. You look at and you contrast Senekal and what happened in Kolini in the Northwest Province. You can see the similarities that are seemingly taking place within these communities and the racial tensions that are there in the country. You look at the old South African Defence Force generals whom have gathered here in Kolini. They have said that they want to bring back the Republic, which was there during the apartheid era, which essentially labels that they may have not embraced what Tata Nelson Mandela perceived as a rainbow nation, which all boils down and comes down to the CODESA negotiations and the settlement that was reached with the old order, with the old regime, and the new democratic dispensation that are there. But in the past 10 years, racial tensions in the country have risen to an all-time high.
Samkele, I'm going to ask you to ask our colleague, camera person, video journalist there with you, just to zoom out, just sort of we can see really the crowds around you, so we can see exactly what's happening, and maybe if you can maybe step out of the frame a little bit, just so that we can take a look at what's essentially happening there behind you. I'm interested to see the crowd there that's gathered behind you. If the video journalist, our colleague, can do that for us, I'd really appreciate that. So just to show you some live visuals there coming from Senekal. And of course you can see EFF members there in their numbers. There are many more, in fact, closer to the court as well. We have seen certainly that there have been some tensions throughout the day, which the police have managed to kind of quell, and certainly stopped a number of farmers coming into Senekal with firearms. That's quite a big story this morning, where police has had to kind of take firearms from those who had unlicensed, unregistered firearms. Certainly, we now wait to hear really the details of what's going on inside the courtroom. That is where EFF leader Julius Malema is at the moment. As we've heard from both Samkele and Reginald, he is set to address the EFF, the members that are there in Senekal, and we'll carry that for you certainly here on SABC News. That was supposed to take place at about past 3, but there seems to be some sort of a delay there at the Senekal Magistrate's Court. No doubt this is a big case, and we'll get you the information of what happens inside the court, but also give you the latest, as we've done from outside the court too. So we await at the moment to hear from EFF leader Julius Malema, who will be addressing the crowds shortly as he comes out of that court, and will tell you if that bail application by the 2 accused has been successful or not. And just to remember, indeed, that there has been a murder in this particular case, and the case of Brendin, who of course was killed very brutally and brought us where we are today. We'll bring you more details on this throughout our bulletins. If it needs be, we will be cutting into some of the other stories, so do bear with us. All right.